it off and go live.
All right, just give me the link when you're ready. D.
AD, right as we went live.
That is
Can you
such
hear
good
me?
timing. We can hear you, yeah. Hey, so good to
11,
see you.
11.
11, 11. Yes. Why not? What's possible, huh? So
Yeah.
Arthur is just going live with the live streaming. He's going to throw us a link here in chat so we can then share it
Cool.
if you so wish on our Facebook.
Yep, just making sure this video is loading up properly. And yes, looks like we're live.
Okay, whoa. We're launching. How are you doing, Dee?
I am okay. I'm really making the best of this time, building like habits and keeping consistent with my word and doing a hell of a lot of creative stuff. And I think this is a great time for artists who typically don't find that they have the time or the capacity to create. And I've been creating like crazy, so I'm really glad.
I really love to hear that.
Yeah, same.
Okay. Now, let me figure out how to. Oh, that's interesting. I'm not sharing. Okay, hold on. I'm just going to share this link on my personal Facebook.
Cool.
Just give me a moment.
Cool.
And then you'll have my attention.
Yeah, no worries.
Okay. Da-da-da. And there we go. And I'll mention you. And off we go. Okay, so this is a show, so I'm going to do an intro show to the show. So we are here with COVID Marketing episode 2. And COVID Marketing is a daily Q&A show to support small businesses, not just survive, but thrive.
Yeah.
And so anybody who's listening, watching, telepathically tuning in, if you want support or if you want to provide support, just let us know. So on with me is Dee. Hi, Dee.
Hi.
So tell me, well, why don't we start with how are you doing and how's your family?
So I'm doing fine. I'm here living in a house with other roommates. We all seem to be healthy so far, and we hope that we continue to be. My family's fine. My parents live in Mississauga right now, and I've told them to stay indoors and to not dare step out of the house and to only depend on us for groceries or to get them delivered, because I think as millennials, we're worried about our aging parents. So but they're fine. They're fine, and my sister and her husband are doing okay as well. So I feel like I'm grateful, I'm blessed, and taking it one day at a time like everybody else. So
Nice, good.
yeah.
And so within your circles, does it feel like everybody is kind of doing the, all right, let's isolate, or there's some that are not?
No, I think
Curious.
everybody that I know is quarantining themselves, isolating themselves in some way. And I'm constantly on Instagram posting, stay home, stay home, stay home. Because I mean, anybody who isn't, I'm very secretly judging them.
Oh, no. Okay.
And not so secretly judging them as well. I'm like, what are you doing? Why are you, some people are still at the gym. I'm like,
Yeah.
what are you doing?
Well,
Anyways.
the interesting thing is, and I know, and I get this because I've been talking with my kids about this, and they're staying home, and they're adult kids, and some of their friends are not. And for the most part, when you say you're fine and your family's fine, I get it. That makes sense. The chances of me going to well, my gym is closed now, but going to a mostly empty gym and contracting anything is so low. And yet, the reason why it's so low is because we're all sitting here at home.
Yeah.
So I really hope that a few months from now, we're Well, was it a thing that we actually needed to do that, or was it not? And let the scientists tell us, right?
Yeah.
Because we didn't really see the effect. That would be the most brilliant thing in the world, is that this becomes the most underwhelming as far as knowing people who get sick and who are hurt and who are dying.
Yeah.
And we don't know, we don't see any of that. So that's my fingers crossed. Now, having said
Same.
that though, this is a ridiculously unprecedented slowdown in our economy. Never seen before. So this show is all about sort of figuring out, well, regardless of the health consequences, and hopefully that will be an unprecedented not happening. What's your business? How has it been affected?
So I'm in the process, believe it or not, I'm actually so I've been doing a lot of work more on the artist entrepreneurial side of things, marketing my own music, kind of building my own brand. And I think that is pretty much not as affected. That's kind of stuff that you always do anyway. But the thing that has affected for me are live gigs, and like the ability to continue to host gigs. And I often do that through, like for me, just joining, just being out there, building community, and sort of making that stuff happen. And I think as artists are struggling the most from that point of view, is that our ability to do like live stuff is completely eliminated at this point. So that's a challenge. And about a year ago, I came back from India with a 2-year training in meditation, yoga, Sanskrit chanting, and yoga philosophy in Sanskrit. And so I was kind of doing that as well on the side a bit. And that was also live gigs, like live setting up live, as in setting up classes in studios. And obviously all of that's gone as well. So now I'm kind of sitting here going, wow, I really do need to think about how to make most of my business online at this point. And I've always had the thought behind at the back of my mind about this, because we are a generation that is doing more and more online. But I think now it's kind of like fast, quick thinking, like how do I get into it right now? And so that's where I am right now. I'm just trying to reevaluate it. I'm also in my life, I'm also kind of like in between so many things at the moment. I do so much. I do like the art, I do the yoga. I'm also an engineer. I do contract work for a company remotely from here. I do vocal coaching for people. So I do a lot of different things. For me, sometimes it's like the focus and where to right now, I think what I'm struggling with the most is, okay, I don't have the live gigs going on, but work and contract work is also going down because the governments who are in the engineering side of the world, because everybody's working from home, and the industries that I work with are also ramping down. So overall, I'm just like, oh my God, what is next? I have no idea. Like I'm on this uncertainty roller coaster with everybody. So
Gotcha. Okay, so a lot of different things
a lot of
happening
things.
there.
I do a lot of
So
things. Yeah.
I know that this is a business marketing show, but we have the luxury of having very few viewers, because it's number 2. I think very few viewers. Arthur said that like 150 kind of checked it out when we went live last time.
Sweet.
So whoever's
Getting
watching,
huge.
we're getting huge. But I would really love to just actually figure out what would support you here. It doesn't have to be marketing or business. I will say one thing with what you were just talking about. You work with Artery, I think?
Like part-time community ambassador type of stuff. Yeah.
Okay. My belief is we're going to do something I think of as the COVID shuffle, which means we're all stopping now, and we're just going to shuffle a lot of what we normally would do out a month or two, and we're probably going to be dancing on the streets at some point. Once we're kind of released, we're going to be like, thank God.
Yeah,
and
I'm so excited.
The thought of something like Artery, if people haven't know what Artery is, actually, maybe you can describe Artery for me quickly, or for our audiences quickly.
Yeah, so Artery is the startup that I think established itself a couple of years, if not, some time back. It's about bringing showcases into people's into very unique venues like people's homes. And then their platform is very much like an Eventbrite type of platform, except you don't get to see the address of the showcase until you actually sign up and RSVP. And people get to create their own events. They find hosts that want to like open up their apartment space or their living room type of thing. So my involvement with them is it's actually quite minimal. I've been curating some showcases purely out of interest. Not that I'm hired by Artery, but that I just do it because I'm interested in it. And then Artery gives me a little something for doing that. It's purely because I love bringing community together. I love connecting artists together, that I've been doing it almost like a voluntary basis. And I've done over 70 events. Like I've attended, hosted, emceed, performed type of thing, because I love the concept of it.
So what kind of went through my mind is it was introduced to me as a way of possibly doing something and hosting it at our business. So I think that Artery should be going out there heavy, enrolling businesses who are empty now, right? Can't have people there, and saying, let's plan for May, maybe June, we don't know, for us to have artists in your business doing events and just get people moving back into commerce, as well as having a beautiful, when I heard about it, it's just like, sorry, what? I can have a professional artist play an event at my business? That's
100%.
really super, super cool. Or whatever the event happens to be.
So
that's...
just one thing I want to say. I don't actually want to focus the call on Artery.
No, sure, no problem. Yep.
Yeah. I'm only saying that because I don't actually work at Artery.
Gotcha.
Artery is something I do because I love to be an artist and a host with them, and I learn a lot from them. But I think I want to focus on, like I would be happy to be talking about Artery if I was working with Artery. But
gotcha. Okay, let's switch it back to you. So where do you want to go with you?
Yeah, so I think I want to talk about just how do I take everything that I'm doing right now, the vocal coaching, the ability to lead Sanskrit chanting and meditation classes, as well as my artist work, and just kind of like create an online platform that's buzzing with all that, because I have so much to offer in all three areas. And I'm also analytical, so I like, once I get the right kind of like steps and stuff, like I'll be like boom boom boom. But I think oftentimes for me it's just intimidating because I'm such an artist, but I have this engineering brain, and I go, crap, how do I go back and forth? Like it's just you know what I mean.
So where are you at with all of that right now?
I'm thinking of organizing an event for Sanskrit chanting and meditation work, through similar concept like Zoom, or not concept, but platform like Zoom. But I've always been contemplating, how do I'm all about the voice and using the voice as a modality for healing as well as expression. How do I bring that and then my chanting and then create a business model out of it? How do I bring the vocal coaching, the singing aspect, but also the breathing, the yoga, the chanting, and bring, like, that's so unique, only I can offer. So I've been thinking about that a lot.
Okay, so, and what's holding you back now? The engineering mind?
Yeah, it's been tough for me, especially as somebody who has been brought up in a very corporate minded setting. I've worked as an engineer, I have a PN, like, you know, I think I've struggled the last few years just to even accept that I am spiritual and I'm an artist. I've only really accepted that this year.
So what's holding you back? Sorry, go ahead, Arthur.
Just cut in for 1 second. I'm also an engineer, so I feel your pain.
Do you? Oh, I love that.
So, Dee, here's the sequence of events I would suggest for you, okay? Especially as an engineer. When we got the idea for this show, I said, Arthur, let's do this show. And we went live on last Friday.
Sweet.
Probably in 2 days.
Just did it.
Just kind of did it. Yeah. I would suggest, in terms of monetizing and creating this as a business, now is the time for audience.
Yeah.
Less the time for monetization.
Yeah, I agree.
You might get some monetization out of it. You could get, you know, the occasional vocal coach, or I'm ready to do this and I'm at home and that type of thing. But right now, people are spending unbelievable amount of time online. This is why Netflix and YouTube and everybody are having to reduce the quality of the streaming way, way, way down across entire continents so that our internets keep going. And so I would suggest 2 things for you. 3 things, I don't know how many things. I would suggest number 1, start. Like literally start.
I'm gonna write this down.
Okay. Ooh. Arthur, she's writing stuff down.
I'm writing stuff
Taking
down.
notes.
I feel like a champ now. Okay, so
Like, start.
start, yes. Good, good, good. Okay, so number 1, start, right? So start today, start tomorrow, start with a very short window.
Okay.
Choose a platform, whatever that is, Instagram, Facebook Live, YouTube Live, whatever it happens to be, whatever is the easiest for you to start with.
What would you
TikTok.
recommend?
Huh.
I like Zoom. I was thinking of the idea of setting up a Facebook event and then setting up a Zoom link
Yep.
for it.
So
But
if you're going to do Zoom, Zoom is a closed system. It has no marketplace value. Meaning, if you do YouTube Live, Facebook Live, all of that type of thing, Instagram Live, you've got your existing network audience. If people
That's
are
true.
liking it, they'll share it. Zoom is, we're in Zoom here, but we're sharing it out to Facebook Live. If you want, we can also give you a little bit of the technical details that we're learning about using something called restream.io, which allows us to stream to multiple platforms.
Oh, wow.
We're sort of figuring all that stuff out as we go. More importantly for me, though, is you to start.
Okay.
And I would say choose a time where you're going to be regular at it.
Okay.
So it could be the Sanskrit, sorry, it was Sanskrit and
Sanskrit chanting and meditation and voice work. Yeah.
perfect. Choose a time, 11:11. You can't have my time spot, sorry. No, I'm kidding. Or whatever it happens to be that work with you, and then you stick with that time.
Yeah.
Okay, so think like a TV show. The idea is to become habit forming. Every Thursday night at 8 p.m., I'm going to watch, sorry, what jumps in my mind is the Cosbys, but the Simpsons or whatever, right?
Yeah.
That's what I do. So you just choose a time, figure out what works for you, when makes sense for your audience. And your job is really to provide something of quality and regularity so people get a sense of who you are and what you have to offer. Okay. And in terms of the connection between meditation, Sanskrit chanting, and voice coach, do you have a, and I'd actually even say you as an artist, because that actually allows you to earn the right to be doing all of these things, right? You are a professional, and this is what you do, and then this is what you offer because this is the value you've seen it in you, in the people that you've done it with, that sort of thing. And so, and also you can talk maybe a little bit about your journey.
The story, basically.
The story. That's also always nice. If you can get that down into, in terms of things like journey and all that type of stuff, if you can get that down into an introduction, great. You know, for me, you know me, right? I'd say, I thought I was tone deaf.
Yeah.
Then I met Dee at Reset, I think it was. And then I was singing a song to my wife.
Oh, yeah, dang, I remember this.
You remember?
It was actually someone's apartment.
It was a Love On conference or Abundance On conference or something like that.
Yeah.
So you inspired me to actually sing. So love you for that. So that's it. I wouldn't get more complicated than that at the start. by all means,
Okay.
circle around and check in with me, but you want to basically be doing an audience, figure out the technical things of this. And by technical, I don't mean just Zoom and all that stuff, but also how does the pacing go? What does that look like? What questions do I ask? What works when somebody comes on? I'm like, oh, I have a guest and they're talking too much. I need to technically be able to interrupt them. I mean,
I'd be
not
good
talking.
at that.
I mean, not talking too much
Yeah,
but talking too much because there's an intention for the show, which is to actually give benefit to the people that are watching. And if it becomes too long-winded and boring, then.
So you're talking more about moderation, basically.
It can be, depends on your show format.
Got it. Okay.
It really, really does. Our show format, I'm having people on. There's going to be a lot going on with them. And so it's possible that, one, we might not be able to get to helping them. It's too deep. But at the same time, I do want this show to just provide value to you specifically, one
100%.
person. So how's that landing? What questions do you have? What's not working with that?
No, this is great. In fact, the reminder that you just gave me right now that how we met and how I inspired you to sing brought value to me, because I thought, yeah, that's precisely what I'm good at, is allowing people to discover their own voices for themselves. And so if my workshop can be something related to discovering the healing powers of your own voice and then using it on a call and having each one sing to each other, just because, hey, what else are we going to do but express ourselves during this time? So,
oh, I love that so much.
Yeah, so I think I just got a great idea as you were talking. So thank you. This is why I love talking to people. It's just for me, connecting with people brings me the greatest ideas. Sometimes it's hard for me to sit with myself and just go, what do I want to do? It's overwhelming. But when I discuss with people, it's like all these stuff. So thank you for that.
You're welcome. So now take that, download that thought that you just got, and come up with a name.
Yeah, that's exciting. Okay, come up with a name. Right. Okay.
Yes. And if the name seems to fit, but maybe it won't fit next week, don't worry about it. Just start going.
Okay, so just keep adapting as you go.
Exactly. Yeah. I'm actually really excited at the number of people that have probably needed to get online and started doing this and start getting attention and awareness, who now have the opportunity to do so. Because there's nothing else distracting us, right?
Yeah.
Or there's less distracting us. That's not entirely true.
There shouldn't be, if you're careful.
Yeah.
Yes. I don't understand, Arthur. What do you mean by that?
Well, I just mean, Netflix can very easily kind of suck you in. But if you're disciplined and you say, all right, there's now a bunch more free time to work on something, this is the time to do it.
Yeah. I get the feeling of wanting to disconnect. I'm certainly doing that sometimes too. And yet, whenever there is unbelievably big things happening, or even just big things within your own sector, industry, whatever it is, that's where the opportunities lie. It really, really is. And if there's ever a time when we need to be thinking opportunity, it's now. So Dee, I'm so excited for what you are going to do. You're talented, you're amazing, you're inspirational, you inspired me. You're very supportive. So, and warm and connecting and all of those things. You've got all of those qualities. And to see the rest of the world get to see more of you, that's really cool.
You're awesome. I'm all warm and fuzzy now.
That's right. Actually, let's rename this show. Arthur, it's just going to be Pep Talk with Brent.
Pep Talk?
That's it, Pep Talk.
The warm and fuzzy.
The warm and fuzzy show. Okay, that's it. Okay. Nice. We're collaborating. This is so good.
Yes, we are. No,
Okay.
that's, you're right about one thing. For me, inertia is a huge problem. When I'm still, it's hard for me to keep moving. And when I'm moving, it's hard for me to stop. Like, it's been a constant battle for me in my life. It's just when I'm in flow or when I'm moving, I burn out really quick because I don't know when to stop. And when I'm stopped, I don't know how to restart. And that has been the story of my life. So for me, it's kind of like it. For me right now, it's start. Like you said, start now. Okay, I needed to hear that. But I also at times will have to like know when to slow down. And I don't know. Have you like? I just question person to person how you deal with something like that.
So I've got the same cycle.
Okay.
I guess my question is, knowing that, what do you think you could do differently this time? Because you're about to probably get going again.
Yeah. Well, I've only really built awareness to it in the last year. So I'm the kind of person that burns out very quickly, fizzles out, does nothing, and then picks back up, burns out, fizzles out. And that cycle hasn't helped my health. It hasn't helped my mental wellness. And so I think that I'm on the, how do I say this? I am on a path to figuring out how to have a healthier balance.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, have you had any successes so far? Or
like in that?
Yeah.
I think so. You know how I deal with it now is I usually have starting troubles when it comes to songwriting because the bully in my head is so powerful. As warm and kind as I look on the outside, I've been just the opposite on the inside. An extreme perfectionist who bullies herself to the ground. So what has really been beautiful in the last few years since my yoga journey, teaching yoga journey and all of that, is that I have really come to love the dialogue in my head. And so what I do now with the whole songwriting thing, and I just established a habit journal and everything, I just set 15 minutes every day. I set the timer and I go, in these 15 minutes, do the best you can. There's no judgment. And once your 15 minutes are up, you close your book, your laptop, your mic, put it away, come back to it the next day for another 15 minutes. And I've been doing that since January. And what's beautiful about that now is now I get to sit in front of my computer and I don't need to set the 15-minute timer anymore because ideas flow without judgment. And so I think that's what I've done for myself, is learned how to like compartmentalize time so that I'm not having trouble starting, neither am I having trouble stopping because the time is set. I just have to do it for 15 and move on. And then now I've built the love and the non-judgmental space for me to create. And it's amazing. I just sit in front of my laptop and the ideas come in seconds. And I'm like, wow, this is what I've been dreaming of my whole life, like to be able to do that. And so I'm trying to do that in all areas of my life, working out, dancing, I'm still trying to figure that out in the financial part of my life, like in terms of making money. I was applying for work. I think I need to apply this philosophy for job apps as well. But anyway, yeah.
I think it applies everywhere.
Everywhere.
So one thing that hit me really strongly, because as our business started to really shoot up, a lot of people are interested in what can they do. At the same time, some are pulling out. The excitement within me to do a lot of stuff just started going really high.
Okay.
Right? And so I could feel this cycle also starting. And what really struck me, and I actually write it down every single day right now for the past week, which is go fast slowly.
Oh, go fast slowly.
Yeah.
I think I understand that, but can you explain what that means to you?
So for me, it is, there's a lot I can accomplish. And let me just center myself, get grounded, and then decide what I'm going to do. Because usually what happens is I get excited. I start putting down lists of all sorts of things I'm going to do. I start doing the things myself. I have actually team, I think everybody actually has a team. You have a
Yeah.
team, whether you're solo or not, you actually do have a team. You just have maybe people to reach out and enroll. And so instead of filling up my day, I start putting a bit of space around it. And then it's very similar in a sense I got to your 15 minutes, which is I'm going to do this. And it might feel slow to me because I should work 8 hours today writing songs and get it all done. But I'm just going to keep the pace up. I'm going to think how I'm going to do this well. I'm going to think how I'm going to do this effectively. And I'm going to think how the idea that I just got to do could possibly be done by somebody else. Or maybe even when. So that's a great idea. Let me put that, park that in a place that I have for the future, next week, or whatever it happens to be. And then go back to what am I actually trying to accomplish now? Whatever related to a vision or a mission, or even just what I want to do this month. And let me make sure that my activities are related to that. And then, and this is the hardest part for me, stop, meditate, breathe, exercise, do all of those things, not have that third cup of coffee, and just not disconnect, because that actually doesn't recharge me, like watching Netflix or whatever it happens to be. There's some of that, and that's okay. But actually put myself in a place where my mind actually can, I actually think of it as becoming bored.
That's
so
hard
if I
for
could
us.
just sit there, if I could just sit there meditating or not doing anything, or don't pick up the phone and play a video game, just sit there drinking a tea or even a coffee for a while, then actually my mind will start to activate again in a way that I feel is a little bit more healthy than I've just got so much stuff to do and I'm pushing myself now to do it. It's actually more of a pull rather than a push. So that's how Go Fast slowly is showing up for me. It also means I'm chopping things off of my list of things to do.
Of course.
Yeah.
I sense an element of patience.
Yes.
Which I struggle with a lot.
That's where the grounding comes in. So my reset name's Stardust. Whoever's listening, you don't know what reset is, that's okay. It's Camp Reset. It's an awesome place to be when they actually have it again. And I just remind myself, you know what? We're just all kind of playing here.
Yeah.
You know, 1,000 years from now,
who
is
knows?
any of this going to matter?
Yeah, who knows? You're right. That really gives you perspective and like how life and human civilization can be so fleeting. So why don't we just take our time to savor what we have here right now? That's so true. Yeah, patience is something that really came through as soon as you started talking. And I was like, and it's funny because in my journals, I've been writing the word patience constantly. Patience, surrender, faith, constantly telling myself those three things.
Now, speaking of patience, Shariya has been on the call and she's been patient. Is there anything else I can support you with?
No, Sorry, were you talking to me?
Yeah, yes, the D. Anything
Who are you
else?
talking to, Brent?
I'm actually talking to D. I was just referencing you.
Oh, okay.
But hi.
Hi. I'm listening. I just wanted to say that I'm listening and finding value in this. That's all I want.
Awesome.
Thank you so much. It makes me feel good to know that too. I think this conversation has been amazing so far. Like I said, I'll show you proof. I took notes.
That's good.
I'm all about the writing, like really like tactile stuff. So, no, it's been great, Brent. Thank you. Sometimes just these simple reminders of like, go fast slowly. I'm actually gonna like write that somewhere and put it up on my wall somewhere here because Yeah, no, I'm good. Thank you. Yeah, no, I'm good. I really enjoyed this conversation. I'm really glad we did this. So thank you for your time.
Just before we move on to Shariya, there is a question for you, Dee.
Yes.
From Jan Keck.
Oh, hi, Jan.
Right. When is Dee hosting her first session? Hashtag accountability.
I knew Jan would say something like that. You know, I'm gonna set it up today. So let's see. My first session will be sometime this week, maybe Thursday, Friday, to give some time to get there, or even sooner, maybe. So yeah.
Okay. It's now on record.
Yeah. So I'm gonna write this down so I can keep myself accountable. Set it up now. Here. Thanks, Jan. Anything else? Any other questions?
That's all that I see.
Cool. Yeah, are you getting more questions or?
No, that's all that I have.
Okay, cool. All right. Is Brent still on the call?
Do we lose Brent?
We may have lost Brent because I didn't hear his voice for like a good 15 seconds. I was like, oh.
All right. Let me just see. 1 second.
Cool. Just want to say a proper bye-bye.
Brent said his Zoom doomed.
His Zoom doomed. All right. Well, I will step off then. Well, thank you. Oh, Brent is here.
Is he coming back?
He says join the meeting.
I am now on mobile data.
Okay, cool.
Keep it quick.
No, we were just wondering. I'm like, there's a lot of silences going on right now.
No, I died.
All right. Well, thank you, Brent.
You're welcome. Thank you for coming on and sharing.
Yeah, you're welcome.
And if there's anything else that comes up and you need support with that, just reach out.
I sure will. And likewise, especially if it concerns creativity and singing, I'm always here.
Yes. Thank you.
Yes, you're welcome.
Thank you. That's in my future.
Oh, are you signing up for that, Arthur?
Pardon?
Are you signing up for the creativity and singing part?
Well, Brent, should we do a team mission here?
Yes, okay. That is so good.
Oh gosh.
Nice and rolling, Dee. That's awesome. All right. Yep.
Already on it.
Yep. Hey, you
So
tell
funny.
us when your first one is, and I'll be there.
Sure. Sounds good.
Maybe. Depends on the timing.
I don't take offense to whether you'd be there or not be there. I'm just happy that we had this call today, and if I see you on it, I'd consider myself blessed.
Oh, thank you, Dee. Well, it's blessed to have you on here.
Thank you, and you. I hope everyone else is okay, Caroline, and your
we
kids.
are doing well. Yeah.
Okay, perfect.
We're all doing well.
Amazing, amazing. Well, let's hope we all continue to do that and do well. That is, and yeah.
Agree.
Okay.
Okay. Thanks. Okay. You can stay on if you want. We're going to switch over to Shariya, my friend Shariya. And I guess in case anybody's still watching, this is COVID Marketing, a week daily Q&A show to support small business, not just survive, but to thrive. And if you want on for support, or if you want to support, if you want on for support, or you want to provide support, let us know. So Shariya, what's going down with you?
Hey, I wasn't sure what this was about, so I just thought I
So you're right on. So how's
I
your
also just
first check? How are you doing?
I had some symptoms, or I do, or something is going on. So I am isolated, not distancing in my social, because they won't do test unless you're really bad. So I don't also have lots of money. It's not a celebrity, you know. They apparently are getting tested just for the. So I might cough here and there. So I have a chest pain. I had a flu last night, but today I'm doing okay, like considering.
Does it feel?
Because I don't know what it is.
How many days in?
Since last Sunday, so 10 days now. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha. And has it been light? Like, hopefully a lot of cases are very not serious.
Yeah, I think I'm fine.
Okay.
Let's not talk about it.
Okay.
It's
no
like
problem.
our Sunday tea, you know? Like, I'm still me. Avoidance. It's
okay.
back on.
Gotcha. So this is about small business. You own a business.
Yeah. Yeah.
How's it been affected?
Huge. Just last 3 weeks of income. Significant income. But I'm looking into.
And what is your business?
So we provide educational support, so note-taking for students with disabilities who are deaf, hard of hearing, blind, students with severe physical disabilities attending college and university. So we go in person, so we're not remote, but that's what we're doing now, is trying to go remote and see if we can do something around that. But it's hard because schools are not prepared, even though you think like, oh, online it should be easy, but getting access as an outsider is quite hard because we don't have we never had the contract to provide access online, right? So it's a little more IT and everything because we're outsiders, we're contractors. So I had 14 employees, 2 just quit. So, it's fine. It's not bad. Like, I mean, I could, be worse. I'm not worse.
Okay, so you're looking at trying to do this online.
Yeah,
and
well,
you're finding some challenges with that.
With our current clients, yeah, it's mostly around their IT. Like, we're not set up to access the online lectures.
Okay.
So it's out of my hand, right? Like so we are constantly communicating. We have communicated with the professors. Some of them are giving us direct access, but it's significantly less. Just to give an idea, we do around 150 classes a week to now 12.
Okay, and those 12 you're doing online?
Yeah.
Because the professors gave you access?
Yeah, the professors have given us access. Yeah.
Okay, and so what do you feel we could support you with?
Oh, I have something else.
Okay, go for it.
So it's the worst time to do it, but I bought an investment property.
Sorry, say again?
An investment property.
Yeah.
That my closing is supposed to be on the 15th of April, but I moved it to May 8th just to pay mortgage a bit later.
Gotcha. Are you selling or buying?
So I bought. But the goal is to do Airbnb, like short-term rentals.
Yeah.
It's in the cottage country. And I don't know how to market it. I did it and I don't know how to market it.
Okay, so you have an Airbnb, or you have a cottage. You're
Yeah.
looking at Airbnb, because Airbnb in itself is supposed to be a marketing platform, right? So that's
Yeah.
where an audience can be.
But how do I like set myself apart? You know, like I still want to do some external. I just don't want to leave it on Airbnb and just like, oh, we'll search, because I know there's different people have used Facebook Marketplace and
Yeah.
different things and website and blah blah
Do you
blah.
mind if I ask a question?
Yeah.
So I'm just curious, just for my own understanding, outside of Airbnb, if let's just say there was a post on Facebook and somebody saw your listing, how do they book it without using Airbnb?
Well, that's where I'm trying to decide, like, should I, because I have seen people have their own website
Okay.
and like they can book it through there. I guess I'm trying to decide if I like what, I don't know. Like I haven't got the house yet, but I'm trying to make a plan of what are the steps I should take to set up, right? Because I could do so many things. I don't want to do everything at once, given that my like limited budget right now, because of my business is kind of losing money, right? So I want to figure out what it would be, some small steps I can take to set up quickly and grow from there.
Okay. I have one more question.
Yeah.
Go for it.
Do you know your, I was going to say audience, it's not quite the right word, but in terms of people that would be booking this, do you know, are these people that live in Toronto that are looking to get away for a long weekend, or would these be international?
Yeah, majority is Toronto, Montreal, and Ottawa. So I looked at AirDNA. Have you guys heard of this? They collect information from Airbnb, like all vacation rental housing, and you can look up based on area. So I paid for that service to get an idea. So majority, I believe 70% comes from Ontario, like Toronto, Montreal, Quebec, and then the rest is international, because it's like the wine country, so like people, like that's what it's known for. Because of the property I bought, it's mostly going to be attracting families with kids. But potentially down the road, it could be for couples, but right now it's majority family who are looking for a week getaway. So this property was being used as a vacation, like a rental before, like a vacation rental. So I have some data from there. They've used a property management, which I think I'm using, but it's quite high. Like, you know, like they take quite a bit of. I just wanted to see.
Did they use Airbnb?
They use multiple. So they have their own, like the property management has their own Airbnb site. So your listing will be part of that.
Okay.
And they also have their own website that, you know, if you Googled, you'll come across them. So you could book through them as well.
Is that the property management or is that the property owner?
Is a property management service, yeah.
No, who has the website?
Oh, they do. Like the property management has the website.
Okay.
Like you can book through them as well.
Gotcha. Now, is it an individual website for your property?
No. It's within.
It's got a whole bunch of them.
Like it's a platform.
Gotcha. Okay. So you might want to continue with them for a little while.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, well, let's put it this way. Do you have a sense of what you need to break even, to be happy? Or not even break even, be happy, because you've got an asset and now you want to offset the cost of the assets at least with rentals.
Yeah. I do. I have a number that will make me happy.
So number one, obviously, is just go for simple.
Yeah.
Airbnb, it's a marketplace, whatever it is. Maybe even going back to that property management people and say, listen, you know, they sold it. Talk to the people who sold it to you now, or whenever you close, and say, how did it work out? What kind of money did you get? Whatever that is. and then see if you can negotiate a deal with the old property management people to say, hey, you only brought in $10,000 last year, you know, and you took 50% cut. You know, that's not a, you know, can we do it at, I'll stay with you because it'll be simple, but take a 25% cut, that kind of thing, right?
Right, yeah.
In terms of your own website, I think it's always good for you to own it.
Right.
Whatever it is. Airbnb, like that's what people sometimes think, that if they have a Facebook page, that's all they need to market. Right? I've seen this many times. Like, no, you don't own that. Facebook changes things. They could disappear, as unlikely as that seems. So I like that you were thinking.
Could ban you.
Sorry?
Or could ban you, could shut down your account.
Could ban you, shut down your account. With people who invested heavily in their Facebook pages, suddenly saw their organic reach disappear. It didn't mean what it used to mean. Now they had to pay for it, and their business model didn't make any sense.
Yeah.
So anything you can do to start creating your own thing, that's awesome. In terms of how do you synchronize your WordPress with Airbnb, I just did a quick Google search for WordPress, like your website, which probably will be WordPress. It doesn't have to be. I just did a quick Google search for WordPress Airbnb plugin and came up with something, and a quick glance at it says it synchronizes your calendars.
Okay.
So there's most likely solutions out there for you to do exactly what you're talking about. A quick Google search will head you along that direction. I would suggest that you absolutely do something like WordPress, simple as possible, depending on how much you want to invest in this. I'm going to guess, let's keep it low.
Yeah.
And if to have that be the place where you send friends and family and your kind of network of, hey, I've got this place, so that when that happens, you don't, you can still have it kind of automated, but you don't have to work it out with Airbnb. You can always just make that super, super manual. Hey guys, I have this, it's $1,000 a week. Airbnb, it's $1,500 a week. Let me know you want, and then you go into your Airbnb account and manually change it, and people give you cash at the door. Like, you can always do it that way. But I like the idea of you starting to do something basic and then just get great photography. And there's actually going to be a lot of guides out there on how to do an amazing Airbnb experience. And it's the normal, typical stuff of, you have fruit there, you have wine from a local area, you know, a local vineyard. You have all the little bits and pieces that make things awesome for people. And then when jerks kind of mess things up a little bit, you don't care. That's just part of cost of doing business.
Yeah. What do you think, like, I don't know, I guess if it's a fair question, like a budget, like for if I were to do the website, and because like I know, like I have to do the photography as well. Like obviously those are the goals, like the high level goals right now, like down the road. Because like,
how comfortable are you with technology and doing stuff like that?
I'm a social worker. How's that?
Okay, well, so
I mean, I know how to use them well. I'm not very good at.
Again, you could easily spend $5 or $10 grand on a website and photography and all that kind of stuff. I think that's you don't need to do that to experiment with this. I feel like jump on. I would probably go for WordPress, but maybe go for something like WordPress.com. It's cheap. They have templates, website templates. They might even have an actually, sorry, if you go to WordPress.com, there's a good chance you wouldn't be able to do an Airbnb plugin.
Okay.
Just because they restrict what you can do there. So self-hosted, which means your own thing. right? Not on a platform like that.
Mm-hmm.
So it would, I don't know. I am not sure. Unfortunately, if my company does $10,000 websites and up.
Okay.
So,
All right. If my budget is there, I'll give you a call. Is that what you?
no, I mean, I'll certainly help you out, Shariya, of course. Right. So, yeah, I think you need to do a little bit of research first on what the
Mm-hmm.
functionality needs to be.
I have a friend who, well, I wish I could buy her house because everything is set up. Like she did bed and breakfast in where I bought it, but her house is like the really, really fancy, nice house, great. And she has her website, like everything is set up. And if I had just bought her house, I would have got everything. So, however, I have some idea of based on her what she set up.
Good.
She used B&B Canada as a first setup because she was bed and breakfast. It was her and her husband. So like her husband has passed away, which is why she's selling the house. But it's interesting, like she has the website, like it's beautiful, but she got some funding for it because she's also an artist. So she kind of used her art as a way to get funding for the website, which she like promotes. It's a great promotional, like she has a little video.
So she has an angle.
She has an angle because it's giving you a luxury experience, right?
Yes, so, that's awesome. Yes.
Yeah, it's a beautiful.
So how much do you want to invest in this, time-wise, and money? Like actually, let's stop asking me what a website costs, because a website costs $500 and $100,000. What is actually your budget? And then think of budget in terms of your actual cash for this, what you want to get back on return from that, and also your time or people's time, whatever makes sense. Like it could be friends.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. Like that's where I think I would need to like write stuff down and think about, you know, as the other person was doing, write things down. It might help to just see what, because I don't want to just come up with a budget first because then it might not be fair, right? Like I don't want to.
It doesn't. No, don't worry about fair. As a business person, you figure out what makes sense for you. Yeah. If you're like, it's okay, I've got cash, I can put 30 grand this next year around advertising and all that kind of stuff, and it's fine if I only get 10 grand back on it. Like that those types of thoughts are what you need to do, because your reality where you are, never mind what the rest of the world thinks, might be $50.
Yeah.
Right. So figure that out. And then from that point, actually, that's where the solutions come.
Okay.
You actually, I almost always want business owners or people who are looking at doing a new endeavor to actually figure out their budget first. Not what can I get this for? That's important. You shop around, you figure out what all the different things are, how that falls in place. But start with what are you willing to invest? Then
okay, if I have a number in mind and then just go from there, like what I can do with that.
Yep.
Okay. All right.
You want to think about that for a bit?
Oh, do you want me to tell you the number that I thought of?
You can tell. Yeah, absolutely. What came?
Okay, so let's start with $5,000.
Okay, and is that for the year or is that for the month?
Just for the setup of to start getting some sort of traction, right?
Yeah.
Like starting a brand essentially, right? Like what would that look like? Because obviously if once it's generating, I can allocate, let's say 10%.
Okay, gotcha. Okay, so then with $5,000, this is how I think you should do it. Number one, think of an angle, whatever that happens to be. Okay, one of our clients way back when they didn't necessarily, they kind of had a bit of an angle, but what they did do is that they chose a name which kind of met with the feeling of the place. They called it Casa Duna. There's a bunch of dunes nearby, right? So think of an angle.
I wonder if they bought where I did. I also have dunes nearby.
Okay. Whatever it is, think of an angle that could almost brand the place.
Okay.
Right? Make it interesting in some way. Okay. Think of a name for the place. You want to name your place. It's not just 1, 2, 3, 4, whatever avenue.
Right.
Think of a name for the place. I would invest most of that money probably in decent photography. Okay. And is the place already looking good?
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
Does it have
like
furniture and all that kind of stuff?
Well, we're still negotiating that, but yeah.
Okay. See if you can't. My impression of.
I wouldn't want this furniture, but but again, it's not bad.
Okay.
Unlike
then you want the place to have a bit of character, which fits your angle and fits your name.
Can I add one more thing on photos?
Yeah.
Yep.
I want to throw out there the idea of getting some drone footage.
Oh, nice.
Do a little slow-mo stuff, make some TikTok videos.
Nice.
Oh.
You can hire my son for that.
Okay, perfect.
Yep. And then from there, invest a little bit of that. I would actually suggest you try to do it yourself first, as far as a website goes. You can host with us. That's cool. Or any other host, maybe a couple $100 a year, $200 or $300 a year. Install WordPress and start playing with it.
Right.
Okay, choose a theme. Start writing down. Basically, create pages and write down your thoughts on what those pages will be. Copying off of other people as much as possible.
Okay.
Without directly copying.
Yeah, fair. No.
Well, structure, and you'll put your own words because it's your angle that you're going to be doing, your brand that you're going to be fulfilling. And then I would focus on two things: what's in the area, if there is anything in the area, and the place and the photography. Those two things.
Okay. There's lots in the area. There's a beach. There is wine. There's food.
Good.
There's art.
So then you want to have a blog and you want to highlight all of those different things.
Wait, do I have to write?
Somebody does.
Okay. Let's put that on me and writing. I'm writing now. I'm taking notes down.
You are, yes.
Okay.
Remember what Dee was saying about the 15 minutes? Maybe do that.
Oh yeah,
it's a great creative process.
Yeah, that was actually good.
So if you're going to write a blog post, 15 minutes, I actually suggest you don't even try to write, because that inner bully, that inner critic is going to come out as you write. Most advice that I've seen says, don't try to edit while you write. Bullet points, oh, there's this winery, it's pretty, and they're open at this time to that time. And you just put that kind of stuff in there. Honestly, your blog can be more of a photo blog. That might be easier.
I like that. Yeah.
And that could get things going. You can still get words in there, but start with the intention of it being a photo blog. I love Arthur suggesting TikTok, because if there's stuff in the area, well, everybody should be
watching them.
Okay.
I don't know how that actually works.
So just hit record and start doing them. It's actually pretty cool. But the stuff that you create on TikTok, you can then repurpose for other platforms.
Right. I mean, I mostly see them on Instagram. Like, I don't have TikTok.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, get it. Now's a good time to play.
I like a photo blog. It's funny, right now, my partner is visiting, so we have this like theme every day. We like, he chose circle, and we like take photos that like our perspective of a circle, like we're doing like a, just to keep us insane. So that would be something, like we both like photos, so
and do whatever, I mean, make it rock stacking, you know, those balancing rock things or whatever it is, just something that is different. Actually, I kind of like the idea of, and I know that maybe you don't want to be there a lot, but having a bunch of really cool rocks and stacking them, and then seeing if people are willing to, like the kids are willing to play with that.
Yeah.
And then that would be very Instagram worthy.
Yeah.
So something that's maybe interactive that moves it into Instagram worthy.
Create my own hashtag.
Create your own hashtag. Yes. You can own a hashtag.
You can own hashtags?
No, you can only rent them, unfortunately. Or you can only jump on them.
I see.
Yes. Can't really own them.
Okay. No, this is good. I'm glad I brought it up. It's been in my...
Yeah. Okay. How's that for you?
That was good.
Okay.
It's good because I was reading Reddit a lot about how people are like, back out from everything you bought now. Like, you know, it wasn't making me feel great about the decision. I
don't have the capacity to, or the knowledge to tell you one way or the other with that one.
Yeah, no, I don't want to back out of it.
Okay.
I'll go through it. It's just, you know, constantly being around that can really affect mental health. So it was good to talk about moving forward rather than just focusing on what it is. It is what it is, but I like to focus on like the future.
Okay. So share with us what you come up with.
For sure.
Before we end it, I do have a question for you.
Okay.
So is this cottage, is it also going to be, say, winter ready? Can people book it in the winter?
Yeah, it's all season.
All season, okay. Because what I was thinking is, because I know right now with COVID-19, everything, especially Airbnb, are slowing down at the moment. But I think a lot of what we're talking about here today is about getting you prepared so that when things eventually do pick back up, that you're ready for it.
Right? Yeah.
And so I guess I was thinking, again, who knows how long it's going to go? Are we talking 3 months, 6 months, whatever? But to get you in a position where perhaps end of summer, August, or moving into winter, you're then ready for that next rush. I think that's really what to aim for here.
Yeah.
Can you, thank you, Arthur. I would suggest as soon as you can, announcing it and take bookings. And if it's regularly $500, say I'm offering it for $250.
Mm-hmm.
Book now. I think you could probably fill up your bookings.
Yeah.
As soon as everybody's sort of, probably not this week or next week, but as soon as it kind of gets like, oh, wait a second, my job actually is secure, or I'm happy with what the government's doing, or whatever it is, I'm going to really need a nice break in nature.
Yeah.
So I would start figuring that out as soon as makes sense, maybe after closing, I'm not sure. But as soon as it makes sense, I would get it out there amongst the channels that you know, and take bookings.
I mean, in the past, they definitely, I mean, the sellers have used it for the personal use. And so in July, August, they do get booked out.
Yeah.
Completely.
Okay.
So, but they've all used the property and they just kind of kept it as is. Like I said, I do want to create an experience, and like I want to move away from this, like going to your grandpa's, like, you know, cottage, and like, you know, have a really nice experience while you're there.
Got it. Well, if the area is super nice and it's out in nature, maybe don't hold back on taking bookings as soon as it makes fiscal sense,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
I don't know if you can do that now.
I know some people are doing, like I've joined like the Facebook groups for the area.
Yep.
And people are.
No, what I mean is, can you take bookings before you close?
I can take bookings now for after May 8th.
Okay, so do it.
So people can book for anything after May 8th, yeah.
Awesome, do it.
I know, it's just that I was like living in this, the last week since I got the symptoms, I've had this fear, right?
Oh,
like I got kind of
yep.
stuck in like the business. I got this notification. I'm like, oh, sorry, we're not, and it just like brought me down a little bit.
Okay.
And it's just like, I'm trying to like, I was on Facebook either. Like I just closed down everything and just needed to like, it was just too much. It was just like constant, awful thing that was just consuming me. And it was really hard to like, also I was dealing with mortgages and like all the things that never tell you about buying a house. Like it was my first one. So it's like, it was really like a very up learning curve that I'm going through. On top of that, every other news that was coming through, I was just like, this is just
totally get it. Yeah.
So I'm like, today I came out of my little shell.
Yeah, and you're here with us.
Yeah, so then this was really helpful, and I think the first, like, it was really nice to hear from the first conversation you guys were having. I was just listening, and you know how much I love talking about my own stuff.
Your deep stuff.
So,
all right.
I like being pushed. Thank you for pushing me, Brent.
I hope you're feeling pulled.
Yes, I am. Like, I'm a little bit excited to like start looking up things and
very good.
Getting some ideas, and like I like the idea of like thinking of a name and starting from there.
Yep.
Focusing, and I'm gonna practice the 15-minute thing that she was doing. I wrote that down the first thing I heard it. I was like, oh, that's really good.
Yep, I totally agree.
Thank you so much.
Anything else?
No, I'm feeling good.
That's good for now.
Yes.
Okay, certainly as you do things, feel free to pass it by and I'll take a look.
Yeah, I definitely I'm curious about this, the drone photo, like the photo stuff and posting websites, stuff like that.
Yeah, I mean, Morgan has a very good camera. He could also do both drone and photography. He's not a professional photographer, so you might still want that.
Right.
But certainly the quality will be there.
Cool.
All right.
Awesome. All right. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Great. I'm glad I saw this posting.
Yes. Good to have you on.
Great to meet you, Shariya.
Thanks, Arthur.
All right. Take care. Bye-bye.
Thanks, and bye.
Bye. And Arthur, I think we're done. Episode number 2. We'll call it a wrap.
Beauty.
All right. Take care, man.
All right.
Bye-bye, everybody.
See ya.
See ya.